Let me tell you something, Pack Nation. I need you to find the Chicago Sun-Times, April 26th. Patrick Finley. The headline says, and I am reading this word for word, rivals' off-season moves make Bears seem stable by comparison. Stable by comparison. That is the headline. That is what they led with. Not Bears are dangerous. Not Chicago is ready to run it back. Not even Bears are good. They are stable by comparison to us. Pack Nation, I want you to understand what is actually happening here. A man who covers the Chicago Bears, whose job it is to make Bears fans feel confident about their football team, sat down at his keyboard, and the best thing he could come up with was, at least we look okay next to the chaos. That is the banner they are flying. That is the rallying cry. We appear stable. Congratulations, Patrick. You appear stable. You want a trophy for that? You want a parade down Michigan Avenue because the guy in the next lane looked worse at the stoplight? I have been to family reunions where at least I am not the worst one here was the victory lap. I understand. It is a real thing, but it is not a scouting report. It is not a Super Bowl prediction. It is a man looking around the room and deciding the bar is low enough to step over and then writing 400 words about it like he cleared something meaningful. Pack Nation, that bar is on the floor. That bar is underground. But you know what? I am not going to argue about who had a messier offseason. I do not care about that because here is what appears to me. And I mean this sincerely. Stay with me here. When I actually look at this division, when I look at the quarterbacks and the rosters and the personnel side by side, you know what appears to me? The Chicago Bears are not going to win this division. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Let us start at quarterback because that is where every conversation in this league has to start. Caleb Williams, talented kid. I am not going to call him a bum. He is not. He won the division last year. He beat us in the wild card. That happened, and it hurt. But here is the thing. He is going into year 3, and the article written by his own beat writer says he has the ability to make their questions a little less acute. A little less acute. That is what the man covering their team thinks about the franchise quarterback in year 3. He might reduce the pain slightly. He might make the wound sting a little less. That is year 3 for Caleb Williams. Jordan Love is 26 years old. He has Matthew Golden, a receiver we targeted because we knew exactly what he was going to become. He has Jaden Reed on a fresh extension. He has Tucker Kraft at tight end when healthy. He had a year where the offensive line fell apart around him, where the injury report read like a hospital intake form, where we lost Micah Parsons in December, and this man still had this team in position to win. He is not managing problems. He is a franchise quarterback, the real kind. There is a difference, and I feel that difference every Sunday. When you line Jordan Love up against Caleb Williams on a cold Sunday in November, when the division is on the line, when the stakes are real, I like our guy. I like him a lot. And here is the part that gets me. The consensus around the league has the Bears finishing 3rd this year. 3rd in a division they just won. And Finley put that right there in the article, reported it, noted it, and apparently did not find it worth pausing on. He wrote 400 words about how stable they are and then buried the projection in the back like it was a footnote. Now, let me also mention something the article is very careful not to say clearly. The Bears' first-round pick this year was a safety, not a premium position. The article admits this, and their second-round pick is a backup center. Their big free agent signing is Garrett Bradbury, who spent 6 years with the Vikings and 1 year with the Patriots and is now apparently the rock that this stable franchise is built upon. That is the free agency haul. That is the offseason that earned the headline. Garrett Bradbury and a non-premium safety. I do not want to be mean. I genuinely do not. But I need you to see this for what it is. And that is just the quarterback, Pack Nation. We have not even gotten to the part where a man named Micah Parsons is quietly working his way back. And none of these people writing about stability seem to want to talk about what happens when each here. Stay with me. We are just getting started. Micah Parsons. Let us talk about Micah Parsons, because the article mentions him like he is a regret, like trading 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark for one of the best defensive players in the NFL is a mistake we should be embarrassed about. Finley writes that the Packers don't have a first-round pick like it is a wound, like we did something reckless, like we did not know what we were getting. Pack Nation, we got Micah Parsons. We got a generational pass rusher at his peak. And yes, he tore his ACL in December. And yes, he is still recovering. And yes, that recovery is going to take time. But let me ask you something. Do you know what ACL tears do to defensive ends? Do you know how many guys have come back from those? Stronger, hungrier, with something to prove to every team that quietly wrote them off during the rehab. I am not worried about Micah Parsons. I am excited about Micah Parsons, and I am very curious how the Chicago Bears offensive line is going to feel about Micah Parsons when he is lined up across from them in the fall. That is what appears to me, Pack Nation. That is the picture I see when I look at this division without the headline in the way. On one sideline, you have Jordan Love, 26 years old, healthy, with his full receiving corps, with Jonathan Gannon calling the defense, with Javon Hargrave anchoring the interior, with Brandon Cece and a new defensive line class, and Micah Parsons getting closer every single week. On the other sideline, you have Caleb Williams, who might make the problems a little less acute, and Garrett Bradbury. And while we are here, Jonathan Gannon. The article mentions Jeff Hafley left for Miami, like that is a loss we are still bleeding from. Pack Nation, Jonathan Gannon ran an NFL defense. He was an NFL head coach. He comes in here with a system, with the mentality, with real experience at the highest level of this game. Jeff Hafley was good. Gannon is a different animal, and he is going to have Javon Hargrave anchoring the interior, plus a draft class built specifically to play in his system. That defense is not a question mark. That defense is being assembled on purpose. The article also mentions that Ben Johnson, the Bears' own head coach, said we're so much further along than we were a year ago. He said that after winning the division. The man coached his team to an NFC North title and came out of it saying he feels further along than he did a year ago, as if winning was a checkpoint and not a destination. Further along toward what? What is the destination? Because the people making the projections think the destination is third place. That is what the consensus says. And Finley put it right there in the article and kept right on writing about stability like the two things were not in the same piece. You know what this is? This is a team that won the division in the best possible year to win it. A year when we were decimated by injuries, when we blew a 21-3 lead and fell apart down the stretch, And instead of using that as a launch pad to do something real, they ran it back. Same staff, same roster structure, slight upgrades at backup center, and now they are stable by comparison. That is fine. Pack Nation, I genuinely mean this. Stability is not a sin. Running things back is not automatically wrong. But when you are stable and the people making the predictions have you finishing third, that stability is not a strength. That is a ceiling. And the Packers, healthy, loaded, angry, with a pass rusher coming back who has been in a weight room every day getting ready to remind this league why we paid what we paid. The Packers do not have a ceiling problem. I also want to say this. The Lions are still the favorite. Dan Campbell has that team built, and they have been the class of this division for 2 years running. I respect it. But the Bears are not the Lions. The Bears are the team writing headlines about how they appear okay by comparison. That is a different conversation, and I am not having a conversation with the team the league is projecting to finish third. We are going to smoke them. I said it. Write it down. Patrick Finley, save this episode. The Packers are coming for this division. And when we get there, I want everyone who read that headline to remember what stable by comparison actually got you. Pack Nation, subscribe to this show right now. 5-star review wherever you are listening. Tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell every Bears fan in your life, especially the ones who sent you that article, because they need to hear this more than anyone. We are on the Packernet Podcast Network. Let me tell you something. And brother, I just did.